All right, we are live. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Yay, Ant-Man says, I beat, he meant bet, $100. He's not wearing the same shirt in the thumbnail. Oh, you mean this purple shirt that I'm wearing in the thumbnail? That I am wearing right now? All right, hand it over. $100. Or who are you betting in chat? You were betting somebody. Pay him up $100. But what's up, everybody? What up, Staying 2007? How you doing? How's the fam? Heavy Metal Tech was second today. What up? Coalition Gaming Chris in the house. Also, YouTube changed the UI or something. Chris is now highlighted in like a light or baby bluish color with the shield. It's because he's a moderator in the chat. But I don't believe it used to have a wrench symbol, and I don't think it used to color the name. So interesting. They just be making changes. What up, New Giant Robots? And yes, you were watching the finale of the new Fallout season, which I still need to watch. I really liked season 1, but now I can just binge it whenever I find time, which I have like zero time right now. You don't know if you like season 1 or 2 better. Ooh, if it's that close, then I'm excited. So long as it didn't like noticeably go downhill. But if it's that close for you, and I thought 1 was really good, I'm hoping I find it the same way then. What up, Kale? Sup? What up, Ron Burgundy? You know what? It's funny. We'll talk about the system in a bit. But I did get an AMD graphics card to work. So we're going to do a quick poll at the beginning, and then we will get to installing. But yeah, it's one of those weird, finicky things, which I would love to hear someone try to explain this. Because, yeah, for me, it's like I'm just going to move on. I'm pretty sure I won't be able to find an answer for this online. Why that one specific graphics card did not work. But I'll explain it once we get into it. What up, Tech Blacksmith? What up, Ant-Man? Again, yes. So go pay the $100. Come on. You guys thought... See, you know what's funny? I do have... You guys do realize the thumbnails used for the stream is just like completely like pre-taken photos, right? There is always the same photos, so it does not correlate to what I'm going to wear today on stream. But if I did want to wear a hoodie version of the color, I would put this on. But it's not too cold today, so I'm going to stay with the purple shirt. 420 time, nice. Blaze it, Ron. Penguins detected. We got Pika Wubs in the house. What up, Pika? How you doing? You ever yo-yo as a kid? Heck yeah. Yo-yoing, I was like 9 or 10 when the yo-yo craze hit. Because that was like, you know, the year 2000, 1999, 1998, 2000-ish. I remember... So the popular brands back then were Dunkin' and Yomega. And for me and my brother, for some reason, we didn't like Dunkin'. So we liked the Yomega yo-yos. I think we had one called like the Brain or the X-Brain or something, which auto-returned, so you didn't have to jerk it after you put it, you know, is it called sleeping? What is that thing called when you flick it down and then it just keeps going? I don't even remember all the terminology. We did have a yo-yo VHS like tape that showed you like different tricks, which is kind of funny to think about. But I was never good at yo-yoing, unfortunately. I couldn't do any of the things where you slept the yo-yo and then did like all the fancy, like, you know, boosh, boosh, boosh. And I couldn't do any of like the trapeze artist stuff where you catch it on its own string, let alone the people who do the crazy stuff. But yo-yoing, I think, I remember our schools banned them too, because like every kid had one. And it's one of those things where like, schools back, whether it be Pokemon cards, yo-yos, marbles, whatever. If all the kids are getting into some kind of craze, they kind of had to put on lockdown because it's like not every kid could have one, and then you have like the theft issues and kids losing it, parents calling the school. But yeah, that's the yo-yo spiel. But yes, I did yo-yo as a kid. Was not good, but I randomly to this day, probably once or twice a year, when YouTube decides to feed me yo-yo videos, I just check out, all right, what's the top yo-yoists in the world? Like, what are they doing these days? And it is just crazy. But yeah, sorry. I enjoyed. So Chris enjoyed season 2. Also a big Fallout fan in general, but not one of those. What kind of fans are Fallout fans? I do like Fallout. The only issue with I played the furthest of any. Well, I put the most hours probably into Fallout 76. Let me check my Steam. How many hours of Fallout 76 do I have? Fallout 76. I have 980 hours into it. It's still definitely my most played Fallout game. But prior to that, it's just because any online game is very easy to get sucked into it. Prior to that, it was definitely Fallout 3. I did play a bit of New Vegas and 4, but I never finished them. I do need to go back and complete them. But I like Fallout. I am looking forward to the next Fallout game, like the full-fledged game, not the mobile, like any kind of mobile app game. But I like that we have now TV shows based on video game IPs that are, and movies and stuff that are actually good, because for a long time any adaptation they tried to do just like fell flat on its face. We're getting that in other The Witcher, people liked at least the earlier seasons. The new Mortal Kombat movies, people enjoyed those, even though I guess the original Mortal Kombat was probably the most successful back in like the 90s video game turned into movie. But there was a long point of time, or there was a long like stretch of time where anytime someone heard, oh, they're making that video game into a TV show or movie, everybody groaned because they knew they would mess it up. But that is not the case anymore. The Mario movie, Sonic, yeah, there's like so many. I can't even list all the top off the top of my head. What was the gap between season 1 and 2? So let me think. I think season 1 came out early 2024. Now it just finished. So it was about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. So that's about, I'm assuming, the gap. We're going to have to wait till the next season. What up, Brainbuster? It says, good evening, love your work. You're a solid-ass cat. Thanks for the kind word. I appreciate it. What up, Reluctant Hero? Yeah, we will be matching. If you put the jacket on, it is too warm, Heavy. I cannot put it on right now, but I appreciate you wearing the merch. Where are the twins? One of them is sleeping. Are you still feeding Mia? Yeah. Okay, Mia's eating right now, so I can't bring her down. But Lexi's sleeping right now, and then my sister-in-law is coming over to help watch them while I stream. The yo-yo craze of the 2000s, yeah. I have a vintage Dunkin' yo-yo. I remember the Dunkin' ones that were shaped like, was it the butterfly or something? Yeah. The butterfly, yes. Kristen even said it. Remember how the butterfly yo-yo then got popularized? Then the bearings in it, yeah. Dude, me and my brother, even though I sucked at yo-yos, like, we got the lube for it and everything that let it sleep for longer. Yeah. Bro, I still yo-yo. What do you mean? Should I get a yo-yo? How much are yo-yos? Look. So, for everybody waiting for the Linux stuff, the reason why we kind of chit-chat at the beginning of the stream for like the first 10-15 minutes is because we want to give people time to get the stream notifications, to get their snacks, to get their bathroom break in, and then once people are here, we can get into the meat and potatoes of the stream. So, that's why we always kind of shoot the crap at the beginning. But let's look at what the yo-yo scene is looking like on Amazon. Ooh, Dunkin'. Look, dude. So, as a kid, when you had no money and you had to beg your parents for an allowance or like save up or whatever, like you had to think, pretty hard. Like, all right, what yo-yo I had, I gotta save my money for this. It's crazy that all the things we cared about as a kid, like as an adult, you used to be like, all right, I can just buy this just to dick around with it, even though I don't need it. And it is a waste of money because I don't think I would be getting into yo-yoing seriously. Oh, there it is, the butterfly. But it's so funny, like, looking back, how inexpensive some of our hobbies were. Because if you got a $10 yo-yo, which I don't remember what the prices were back then, I feel like this was not hit by inflation. I swear yo-yos were $10 back in 1999 as well. So like $10 for how much entertainment this can give a kid, I think that's a pretty good return on investment for a parent. Especially if they get into the crazy stuff, like, you know, the tricks and stuff that you can do with them. I remember these basic Dunkin' ones. Wow, look at this. A set of 6. Yeah, the original Dunkins, they're just like these kind of like macaron shaped ones. $26 for 6 yo-yos. And this is officially from Dunkin'. We're going on a nostalgic trip today right now, guys. Mike Novelli, blaze it up. I was there for the yo-yo craze of the late 80s. Yeah, so I was only born in the late 80s, so I wasn't there for the craze during that time. I was like basically 0 years old or 1 year old, so I did not make it for that one. But it did. I don't know if it reemerged in the late 90s or if it was just always a thing, like consistently up until the 90s, but yeah. What distro? I just joined. Well, the distro we're going to do today is Mint. I also put that in the thumbnail, and I'm not opposed to checking out other ones, but I just think with how long it's going to take to set up and like dick around in it, we're not going to have time to do multiple. We could do multiples on other streams, but so I'll talk about that more once we get into it. We got a couple more minutes while waiting. I remember the X-Brain. It was nice, good weight balance, and smooth travel. I just remembered the auto return function. I don't honestly, yeah, I don't know what yo-yos are actually good or bad. Who the heck are you playing with? Wait, what do you mean? Who the heck are you playing with? The fans that you're talking about are the lore critical. Basically, the books were better. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. The ultra mega actually fans. Yeah, I'm not a fan of those types of people. What up, HDZ? How you doing? Baja this blast. I'm new to PC and coming from console. I'm trying to buy myself a new monitor and I'm stuck with what to get. I don't know. I don't want to spend a bunch on OLED. So I'm looking at mini LED or IPS. What's your take? Well, mini LEDs. I don't know what the cheapest mini LEDs are. We can take a look real quick. They are a bit cheaper than OLED, but they're also not as cheap as IPS. What's my take? Is it your first time you want to buy yourself a new monitor? Let me think. I mean, how much money do you have to spend? And what rig do you, what is the rig that you're building? Like, if you are building, let's say, like a $2,000+ system, then I would be like, okay, yeah, just, you got a nice system, you can make use of a nice monitor, just kind of spend the money. I know it's going to hurt, buy once, cry once, but then you're going to have something that will hopefully last a while. I think current gen OLED has like better burn-in protections, like actually like chips, you know, integrated into them. And the thing about it is, if you know you will ever buy an OLED and you have the money now, spend the money now because you have more time to enjoy it. That's something that, even though this channel is mostly, you know, trying to help people save money, deal hunting and all that stuff, it doesn't mean you always have to buy cheap stuff. The issue is, if you buy a cheap monitor now, or just one that isn't as nice, it doesn't have to be like dirt cheap, and you use it for like 2 or 3 years, and then you're like, okay, I like that, I'm going to now spend the money on the OLED. If you spent the money on the OLED initially because you have the means to, we're assuming this, right? You could have enjoyed the monitor for that additional 3 years on top of the years afterwards. I came to that realization like when we remodeled our kitchen in our house. Like, we moved into our house and then we didn't remodel it until like 4 or 5 years after the fact. But it's just like, we were going to spend the money anyways. If you spend it, and if anything, with the way that inflation works, things get more expensive, and tariffs and stuff made it actually more expensive to upgrade our kitchen later. But like, if we had done it earlier or right when we moved in, we would have had extra years of enjoying a new, nicer kitchen, right? So, sorry, kind of a rant, but back to this. If you have the money, if you have a nice PC to go with it, I would say just go for the OLED. I think mini LED also look nice, so if you want to save some money, that's a good option. IPS is only if you're like really trying to penny pinch. So, yes, I'm finally installing Linux, and I'll explain everything once we get... actually, we're going to get started in a couple minutes here. Street Fighter movie, also, it does look like they are going kind of like they're having fun with it. It looks a little bit like ridiculous, which I think is a good thing. I don't think the original Street Fighter movie. I need to watch that again because it's literally been years or decades since I've seen that one. But I feel like they tried to take too serious of a tone with it, from what I can remember. So like, if it's a video game movie, especially something like a Street Fighter, I think there is room to afford to like have fun with it. So, yo, Danny, I just got the OnePlus Nord Buds 3 Pro, and for $60, definitely better than AirPods Pro. I mean, my wife has AirPods, but I've used them a couple of times when she's like, "Hey, listen to this." What do I have? You got the OnePlus Nord Buds. I got some Wise Buds. Yeah, Melissa got me some Wise Buds. I don't remember the exact model for Christmas and New Year, and that's just what I'm using. But for $60, they're definitely better. I think with the AirPods, it's not only about the sound quality. AirPods is about just the integration. I don't remember the battery life, but like Apple, the other stuff about the Apple ecosystem, that's one of the reasons why people pay a premium for them. But also, I think just the seamless connectivity and integration to everything. Like, yeah, the sound quality is not the best, but everything else, especially if, you're using it with an iPhone, just works. And that's what people pay for. I'm hyped for Alien Earth. Have not seen that. Let's get the show on the road. All right, let's do this. Okay, let's do the quick poll real quick. Wait, camera doesn't want to catch focus. Is it because it's too bright? Let me lower the brightness. Did I just have it too bright? Okay, can we focus, camera? What are we doing here? Are we gonna focus? There we go. Let's catch the focus. There. Okay. All right. So just to get a quick recap for anybody who wasn't here last week. So we've got the system ready to go. It's a I keep on saying Think Center. I don't know why. Think Station P520, which I featured on the channel before. We're gonna install Linux on it. 2 weeks ago, we decided on Linux Mint. That was the top voted distro, so we're gonna go with Mint. Last week we tried to install Linux, but we were having hardware issues. It was not a software issue. It was with this specific graphics card, which is a known working graphics card. I have tested it. I also showed it working because we were able to get into a Windows a boot device with Windows installed on it. This is an 8GB XFX RX 580. For some reason, and it also worked prior. I did a BIOS update just to get the latest BIOS on it because there was like a 2025 BIOS for this 8-year-old system. I did a BIOS update, and then after that, for some reason, we couldn't get into the BIOS. We can get into Windows, we just couldn't get into the system's BIOS, even with all the drives unplugged and everything. So then I said, all right, we tried a bunch of different things on stream. The chat was helping me or, suggest things to try. I tried everything. We switched monitors. We unplugged it from the capture card. We reset the CMOS with the jumper. We unplugged different drives, had different drives plugged in, had the Ventoy, everything. Nothing had worked. So then I swapped it out with a GTX 970 and boom, instantly it worked. So that was going to be the card that we were going to use. Now, today, I just wanted to make sure everything was working, so I fired it up. It still was working. Then I thought to myself, wait up. This isn't just like an AMD thing, right? There's no way, for some reason, an AMD card just isn't working. So I put in a different card, which I will show you right now. I put in a different card into the system, and it is also an RX 580. This one, though, is... Let's see if this pops up. Okay, it does. This RX 580 is... This one is the MSI Armor version. This is a 4GB one. Let me see if I can... Can we look at that? RX 580 Armor 4GB. You guys see that? So, I tested this. We can get into the BIOS. It works. So, now the question is... Do we stick with the 970 or do we actually go with the 580? So I'm going to run the poll. I think there's like there would be a good reason to go with either of them. Nvidia, if we want to deal with more troubleshooting or potential issues, or go with AMD if we one second, I'll grab her. We go with AMD. So let me run this poll and then let me grab Mia real quick. What GPU do we use in the Linux build? So we go with the RX 580 4GB or GTX 970 3.5GB. All right, so you guys vote. I'm gonna grab Mia real quick. Hi. Hi. Oh my goodness. Look at this frog pose. Oh my goodness, you so cute. You so cutie.
Yo, you scare her a little bit.
You so cute. Hello, hello. Stream was asking for you. And when I say stream, I mean Ant-Man was asking for you. He's always checking in on you guys. But we're just going to chill while the poll runs. Say hi. Okay, casual viewer of the channel. Got the notification that you're doing Linux install and caught my interest. Heck yeah. So just for the people who are tuning in for the first time and weren't here for the last couple of weeks, I've never messed around with Linux. Mostly just out of like, no time. You can choose how you want to fill your time or your free time anyways, especially, once you have significant others or even kids. And a lot of my time is dedicated to YouTube. So, and now these girls, or here's one of them, but the other one's upstairs. So I never like got time or made time and prioritized playing with Linux. There's always a YouTube video or like hardware stuff to work on. People have been asking me like, can you do it on stream then? So that's why I was like, oh, that's actually perfect. This stream is the perfect kind of like platform to mess around, and you guys get to see a noob who has never done it before mess around with it, and people who have not tried Linux, which I would imagine is a large like in any kind of like community, given that Linux is what was it, less than 3 or 4% of the user base of people with computers. People will hopefully see it for the first time and then become interested and maybe try it themselves. My old system has ROG Strix 970. I'll probably put Linux on that machine since it won't take Windows 11. I mean, you can put Windows 11 on it, right? You just can't do it like officially. Oh, let me move. Hi. Hi. Okay. You want to go on a roller coaster? We could go to Six Flags or we go to Six Flags at home. Like, wee. You like roller coaster? Wee. Yeah. Hi. Okay. We do squats. Wee. Yeah, you like that? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, bye-bye. Love you. I'll see you later. Here's Auntie.
You cry? You say I don't want to be here?
Dude, those types of systems usually have an executable you can run. That's what I did. You might be able to download the older version, roll it back. I mean, I don't really want to roll it back because it's not a problem of like just all AMD cards. It is specifically this card for some reason, which is so weird. Like, what do you guys think the problem might be? Where this AMD RX 580 didn't work to get into the BIOS, because the rest of it worked. Like, it can play games, it can, get into Windows and stuff. But why does the same generation card, I don't think the VRAM has anything to do with it, but why does an almost identical or very similar card all of a sudden work? The BIOS on both these cards, the VBIOS, are the pretty standard stuff that comes out of the box from the factory. It's not like there's a modded mining crypto VBIOS or anything on it. So I just chalk it up to, this is an instance of weirdly unexplainable, incompatible hardware And I'll just use that 8 GB card for something else. But yeah, Flick 6 packs at home equal Knott's Berry Farm. Yeah. On what motherboard? I mean, I don't know what specific motherboard this is. It's just, the ThinkStation, whatever proprietary thing they use on it. I don't even know what the model number of this is. I would probably have to look it up. This is a Solween BDO 331. No, I don't think that's the model number. But yeah, it's on whatever the P520 systems. I'm not aware if they use different motherboard models on the different versions, but the problem is that it's Linux, and Linux is crap for the most part. It wasn't a Linux problem, because we couldn't even get into installing Linux prior to that. Yeah, Linux is crap. Are you trying to like rage bait here? We'll see if Linux is crap. I don't think so, because a lot of people use it and they like it. But yeah, it may very well be power delivery issue on the PCIe slot. Interesting, actually. Well, let's take a look. Tech power up. I'm just curious of the GTX 970 power draw versus RX 580 8 GB tech power up. I mean, I know different cards have different requirements and different AIBs, but in general, I'm just looking at 148 versus 185, and then what about the 4 GB RX 580? So this one has a TDP of 185, and I think they both have the same 8-pin connector. So I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not that, because it could be a number of things. Yeah, it could very well be that. Lenovo P520, yes. You're probably missing the output to display when it flashes the BIOSing. Wait, the output to display for that specific card though? Like just for one specific card. Here come on the say based on ignorance. I bet those bashing Linux would never give it a try or a fair shot. Well, hopefully they keep watching so we can see. But alright, what's the votes looking like so far? Alright, people are wanting to keep put the AMD card in there. So I already have it in. We are good. And then I'm going to let it vote for another minute while I read this. Oh, right, yeah. Weird enterprise workstation PC compatibility stuff is a possibility too. Not exactly whitelist issue like some, but similar. Hey, what up? 4i Staying 86. Because it's not officially on the ThinkStation support list, so certain models just work better than others, but usually all models on supported cards work. Yeah. It's just, again, like I said last week or in the previous weeks, for me it's not a problem because I have other hardware on that I could sub out and stuff, but there are people who are buying this combination of hardware because they watched YouTubers like myself make videos about how you can make a cheap budget PC that performs really well, and it pains me to like think about people who buy this hardware and it just run into that same problem, and they cannot just simply swap out a graphics card like I did. So, yeah, I think moving forward, making content, like I need to, I mean, that's not just a problem with this though. I can see this being a problem even with non-workstation computers. Like if I Google it, I can probably find someone out there who put a Reddit post saying, hey, I have 2 working graphics cards. One works in my system, one doesn't. And I can't explain why. Like, with normal consumer hardware. So, I have about 20-something... Yeah. It's not hard to accumulate GPUs, especially when their cards are like 30, 40, 50 bucks over time. And they don't really depreciate. The RX 580 has been $50... I think for the last 4 years or something. It's kind of ridiculous, but okay. We are going to finish the poll. End poll. We are sticking with the RX 580 4GB. Let's do this. All right. We're going to go to the test bench. Actually, no. I'm going to first show you me powering on this PC. So we're going to go powered on. We've got the Ventoy thumb drive in here. Do I have everything plugged up correctly? Oh wait. Oh wait. Give me 1 second. I need to switch something. I was testing with and without the capture card. Come on. Okay, everything is plugged in. Should be good to go. Got the non-Windows drive in there. I'm not sure if you guys can hear the fan through my mic, but once this turns on, we can switch the scenes. Once these installed, you could then try that. Yeah, once the Mesa drivers are installed, that is okay. That's a good point. All right, we are getting a signal. Boom, there we go. Hello, Lenovo. Let's see if it goes right into Ventoy. It should. There it is. Wait, what? Oh. Okay. Why? So it showed the splash screen just fine. I guess you guys are just gonna have to watch me. Dang it! Hello? Why are you doing this to me? So you guys can see Ventoy clearly here. I don't want to have to point a camera at this. Ideally, the capture card was just working, but I wonder if it's just I'm not a capture card person. I don't know why. I thought this would just be like, I thought the signal going through the HDMI cord would be agnostic to, you know, like what is going on. So it's weird how it worked at the splash screen. But all right, are we just gonna have to show the install like this? Chris is the resident streamer specialist and AverMedia specialist, actually. But I guess we're gonna have to. Yeah, once it's installed, it should work fine. I was hoping that, because like I've used this capture card to show Windows installation before, and it worked just fine. Let me make sure it's here. Too much zoom. Okay, does this work? Come on, focus, buddy. Come on, camera, focus. Yeah, HDMI signals can be weird. Okay, so also, you know what else can be weird? USB ports. Oh, I guess I can just use the keyboard. So we're gonna do Mint, but I did just throw on a bunch of other different well, like I put my Windows stuff on here as well as Zorin. I did not get Bazite because with Bazite you need to specifically download the version based on if it's like AMD or NVIDIA. So I'll get that later. And it looks like we are going to stick with AMD. So we'll go Linux Mint. I'm going to guess we're going to boot in normal mode. I thought we could install using this. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. Start Linux OEM install for manufacturers. Boot from Nextfolio. This is what you guys were talking about previously, right? How we can just actually just get into it and mess around before fully installing it. But if I did want to install, I guess why do they specify OEM install as opposed to just like, you know, like a normal person installing it? Would this be the option to just install it onto the drive like normal? Use the simple. Okay, wait. Can I go back? You said not to use the grub version. I'm gonna restart real quick. Oh, okay. Kind of like the Windows, how you can out of box experience it. Is that kind of like what the OEM is? Okay, so you said don't use grub. So, oh my goodness. Ugh. I am embarrassed by how dusty this monitor is. I need a wet wipe. Because that did not do anything. Okay. So, when you guys said simple install. Okay. I did. Wait. You said you guys said don't. Wait, where am I? Oh, here. Just so that, I guess that's not gonna make a difference. So I did not boot into grub mode. I booted into normal mode earlier, unless my finger slipped. So I did do normal mode. Yes, right? And then this is what it goes into. You guys just saw me do it right there. Oh wait, start Linux. Yeah. So this is the same thing we saw. So select this one. Oh my gosh. The exposure. Let me see if I can change this. There we go. Hopefully that's easier to see. No, check the stream submissions I found regarding the RX 580. Okay, let me take a look at that. RX 580 stream submissions. RX 580 cards often fail to display the BIOS post screen on modern UEFI systems due to outdated GPU firmware. This card works fine in Windows, but skips startup screen. To fix this, enable CSM in BIOS. Use a different port, display port. We did the display port thing last time, or flash the GPU with updated BIOS. I need to check again. Okay, so we're in. Oh, okay. I remember you guys were talking about that. Okay, let me change the. Oh my goodness, we are in, and we could just use it as is, or actually install it. Okay, this is actually. Oh, wait. Let me see if I can. Yes. Okay, I can stop. Yay! We're in! Hey, that was pretty simple. W Linux. Wow, look how quick that was, guys. Anyone who's ever installed Windows knows that that is not how it goes with Windows. Now do the install. It's a live version. Okay, actually doing it now, everything from what you guys have been saying the last stream or two is making sense. So you're saying I can just start using this as is, right? So I got some dumb guy questions for you guys right now. So it looks like it has Firefox already. I'm just going to poke around a bit. We will install it, but I just wanted to poke around. Oh, whoops. I totally forgot about internet and all those things. Let me plug in my Ethernet cord. So first thing that I'm thinking of is, you know how Windows nowadays, if you install modern Windows, no matter almost what hardware you have, it's pretty good at auto detecting what network drivers you need, just to like, so that you don't have to bring in like an external executable file or you know, like a CD or anything like that on a USB thumb drive. It's just like you get. If you have internet going to your PC, Windows would be like, all right, we're going to find you some drivers that works to get you online so you can set everything up. So my printer just got added after you guys saw that? That was the printer. Okay. But now we're going to test. We have internet. Give me 1 second. I don't want to show my IP. Actually, we can do it on the other. Okay. So we're going to do speed test, the Google one, because it does not share. Okay, so internet just works, which is good. This is good. I like. Please use a package manager. Dude, I'm doing this caveman style. Yo, what is up with my upload? This is supposed to be symmetric. Your connection is very fast. Okay, we got internet. So here's my question. So this mode that we're in, if I were to install anything, like where's any of that going, you know? Is it just being installed to the Ventoy thumb drive that I made? Because I haven't designated like you know, a drive to it yet. And is all of this, or is this just running off of like the RAM? Like where's all of this? If anything I do, is any of it saved or remembered, or does it get wiped every single time? Let's see what you guys have to say. Yep. Okay. So it's all basically, it's kind of like on the system memory, basically. Anything I do gets wiped once we restart. Danny, click around and get a little used to everything before installing. Okay, yeah, let's go and take a look. So I'm gonna treat this like similar to like what I'm used to in Windows. We're gonna go around and see. It's running off the USB and nothing is saved. Okay, wiped. It's a live version. Nothing is saved. Yep, system memory. Okay, that's what I kind of figured. So let's say I wanted to. Let's open the. So yeah, this looks pretty familiar in terms of like, oh, if I plug, oh, so our devices, which is unable to mount. Okay, I'm used to like, I guess there's no drives to look at, but yeah, the file manager looks. It's kind of like a combination between like an Apple computer and Windows, huh? So let's say if I wanted to look at, let's say about this PC, system information is what it's called. So if I went into here, we can take a look at, we got 32 gigs of hard drives. Wait. 32 gigs of memory, which is as expected. AMD graphics card. It does detect that it is, either 400, 500 series card. There's our processor. Okay. It's a USB. Here's everything connected to it. It looks like GPU. RX 580 Armor 8 gig. Wait. Can I increase the font size? Display settings. So I should be able to increase user interface scale 200. Sure. You make the font extra gigantic so that you guys can actually read. Is there not anything like in between? I can only choose 100 or 200%. You will have some limitations in live. Okay. It just best of both worlds between Apple and Windows. Yeah. Did you give up last time? I didn't give up. I ran out of time. Because we did end up getting it working. We could have checked it out last time, but and we're already at like the 2.5 hour mark or something. But yeah, let me see. Is there any other? I'm gonna poke. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna keep it at 1080p. Interesting. Boomer mode activated. You can do fractional scaling. You have to turn on the display settings. Okay, so you're saying in the display settings, fractional. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I was just there. Scale content up. Okay. Layout. Oh, interesting. Okay. I thought it would be like I think 150 is a good scaler. 150 is not too big, not too small. I feel like it's you guys can read. Okay. Okay, what else? I mean, let me plug in a thumb drive just to how Windows is like, oh, here's a device. Do you want to check it out? Here's a Windows 11 thumb drive. What happens when I plug in just some thumb drive? All right, lights on. Boom, it pops up right here, it looks like. So yeah, this is, I mean, Windows doesn't do this at all. This is definitely more of a like Apple thing, right? When you plug in like an external device or a portable device, it pops up on your desktop that you can just double click like this instead of having to go to like the file explorer, my computer, all that stuff. Okay, so yeah, okay, just, this, can I install Windows from this live version by double clicking the setup.exe? Probably not. Let's mess around. Let's see. I'm guessing not, because this wasn't made for Linux. I probably would have had to make specifically a bootable drive like with the Linux option or something, because yeah, this exe is like for a Windows environment. Okay, but it did detect it, so nice. You should totally open the terminal, open Vim, and try to exit Vim. Really, Pico Wubs? That's called Pico Wubs. What are you trying to get me to do? You can change your themes to dark. Yeah. Oh, I like this I actually like this default. But let's see, themes. Let's mess around. We can actually get to, because I do want to install programs. Someone challenged me to get World of Warcraft to work. I want to do that. Ooh, we can choose a green theme. So that's like the colors. So dark, light. We'll go dark mode. Advanced settings. You can change. Okay, this is cool. Icons. Yeah, we'll go green. Just install it. I've already committed. Okay, yeah. EXE have no power here. Okay. Right click on desktop and select customize for more. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what I already did. Auto arrange, reverse sort, reset grid. Okay. Oh, hello. Interesting. Icon size. We're going to do super large icons. Direction vertical. Okay. What is this? Okay, let's do what did PeakWeb say to do? You're right, Chris. Ain't no risk anyways. So what are we gonna do? You still open up terminal, okay. Is this like deleting the system32 folder essentially? What is it? You open Vim. Wait. CD Vim. ls. What is Vim, and try to exit Vim. Just type Vim. Okay. Vim. Command Vim not found, but can be installed. So, okay. So I should install it so we can do this. What are we doing here? Can anyone explain while this does it? Oh, I don't have enough disk space. It looks like after this operation. Wait. Oh no. I do have disk space. It will be used. Not that I don't have it. Okay. Yes. Sure. Okay. So we have it now. So now we can just go Vim. Okay, Vim is open source and freely distributed. Help poor children in Uganda. Okay, wait, what is this? But then you said, so type Q to exit. So you said type Q to exit. Am I waiting for something here? :Q. Oh, I have to type :Q. My goodness. My brain is not wired like this. Okay, that's it? Now we're Linuxing, boys. We're hacking. So, let's see. To exit. Is that all we're doing? Danny, he tricked you into calling the FBI in... It's not Morse code. It's Morse code. Why is the colon included? Don't ask me. Okay. Okay, we ready to install this thing? Let's see how simple this is to install. Can I just... I'm just going to pull this out. No, I'm going to safely remove the drive like a good model citizen. All right, gone. Let's do this. Double click. Did I just mess up the double click? No, I didn't. We're good. We're good. Hopefully, it doesn't kick us back out of the capture card. Hopefully, we can, get the whole process. You install. You may... Let's read the release notes together, guys. I'm just kidding. No, we're not going to do that. All right, let's go. Let's go. Keyboard layout. US. Yes. Let's do an install on your bare hardware. Yes, exactly. Install multimedia codecs. Sure, why not? I don't see off the top. I can't think of a reason why not to do this. I'm sure there might be someone in the comments who might be like, wait, you don't want to do that. You want to custom get your codecs because some of the default ones are bad. Erase disk. Okay, wait. I need to select a disk. The computer currently has no detected operating system. Okay. Can I, no. Okay, erase, and I'm guessing it's going to let me choose which, okay, here we go. 128 gigabyte Micron. I just realized I'm not going to have enough space to install World of Warcraft. So we're going to have to install Steam and then some Steam games. And then I'll figure out getting a bigger drive for this. Okay, so we're going to do this. One partition deleted. Okay, install. Okay. I just made oatmeal. I'm ready. Yeah, I do have another one that I can just plug in. If you continue the changes be written otherwise, okay, the partition table, okay. Sure, if that's what you need to do, Linux Mint. I'm assuming if I didn't say yes, it would have canceled the install. So oh, where am I? Los Angeles? That's close enough. Even though I'm not in Los Angeles. I am on the West Coast. Who am I? Wow, that is a loaded question. We'll just call this Nobe. Nobe ThinkStation P520. Okay, so it auto-filled out for me. Nobe. No, okay. Nobe Mint. Mint Nobe. Oh my gosh. We'll do the hyphen then. Username. We'll just go with Nobe. Choose a password. No password. Do you have to have a password? No. Login argument. No, you have to have a password. Okay. You guys can all know my password. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna forget this password by next week. Watch. Login automatically. Cause I'm trying. Wait. Must start with a lowercase letter. Okay, cool. Did I need this? Is it No, it looks like I did need it. Sorry. I wasn't sure if it was because I had the wrong username. It didn't let me continue. But it looks like I do need a password. Yo, what up, Trekking? Has to be lowercase, yep. That's my dad's password. Welcome to Linux Mint. Copying files. Okay. How big is World of Warcraft these days? Let me check. Do I even have it installed on my PC? How big is... World of Warcraft War Within. Oh my god. Over 120 gigs. That's not going to fit. Okay. We just got to install Steam. And then... some Steam game. I don't know which one yet. Probably a small one like Skyrim. Skyrim's like 14 gigs. But what's a modern game that's small? Because I don't want to spend all this time installing a game. Like, it needs to be something that will install in like a few minutes. But also modern so that we can test, like, you know, the graphics and the drivers and stuff. Do Valheim? Okay, we do Valheim. Play Dota 2? Bruh. I don't think I've ever played a full... I played Dota on Warcraft 3. I don't think I've ever played a Dota 2 match on, you know, through Steam. Like, I've never touched Dota 2. I played League. Oh. Does League work on Linux? I forget. Didn't Riot backtrack on the secure boot or TPM requirements of Valorant or all their games? Or am I remembering wrong? Megabonk. Do I have Megabonk? At least in my family library? Let me check. Nope. None of the people in my Steam family have Megabonk, and I have not personally purchased it myself. What up, Teams Wavy Motorsports? Helldivers 2 Slim Build. I do have Helldivers 2. Wait, what is Helldivers 2 Slim Build? Is it just like a smaller install of it? Or what do they cut out? I'm assuming they cut stuff out because it's called Slim. Brotato. Hollow Knight. Mafia. Just installer option. Yeah, so why would anyone not do the Slim build? Is it just like... Because sometimes you can like choose to not install texture packs and things to help make the installer smaller. But like for Helldivers... What makes it... They managed to bring Helldivers 2 install 25. Okay. And that's after install. The download might even be smaller. It's just after it unpacks and stuff. It might be big. So we can try that. It's configuring the hardware. Is this gonna be seamless? I imagine it's not gonna be, but I would be amazed if after this install we could go straight into using what we were just using without requiring a reboot and restart and all that stuff. Brawlhalla is too. No. But I kind of want to do a 3D game that actually pushes the graphics card, especially since there's that talk of like, oh, the Linux drivers of whatever cards, it performs worse than Windows, right? So Linux just works. What up, Jason? We are here. It is actually happening. I'm running Slim Build, works fine. They didn't remove any features. Interesting. Maybe it just takes longer to install and people don't want to wait. Wait, I'm on Mint right now. I can check Steam to see what's supported. I mean, didn't I hear a statistic? Okay, we're gonna let this we can't leave. Can I do stuff while this is installing, or is that a bad idea? I mean, can I use Firefox? I should be able to, right? I don't want to mess this up. I don't think we can mess it up, and we can always reinstall it. But like, is there any downsides if I were to try to browse stuff? One person says you gotta wait till install is done. The other says go for it. Guys. But you said yes, you can. Linux just works, especially if you don't use it. It says in decline. You can twiddle your thumbs. Helldivers 2 is now 22 gigs download, and the file downsize is now in the main build. Interesting. Firefox is better than all. I'm gonna try it because, hey, Blue Protocol MMO works. I'm done with Blue Protocol. I put in like a few hundred hours into that. All right, we're gonna try it. If this messes it up, we can always redo it. Okay. So when you said you're gonna look up the support list, do I need to look up specifically for Mint, or is it just Linux in general, and like all the distros are gonna have about the same support, like percentage of games that work on Steam on Linux? Let's see, Linux let's see Google AI. How or what percentage of Steam games work on Linux? While the percentage of Steam users on Linux hovers around 3 to 3.2%, the percentage of games playable on Linux, installation is done, with estimates suggesting nearly 90% of Windows games can run thanks to Valve's Proton compatibility layer and Steam Deck. Joe says, Danny, look at my above message. Okay, Joe. Yes, it should be seamless. You will have to reboot, but do not pull out the USB until it tells you to press enter. Okay? I don't plan to pull it out until, I am instructed to. Afterwards, check if Telnet is enabled. It's a huge security and vulnerability. If it supports Ubuntu, you're fine. Yeah, if you're running a USB sticks, yeah, you can browse. Okay. Okay, so I mean, 90% of games, Helldivers, Valheim, or something else should work. Okay, we are going to restart now. Wow, so quick. What? Pull it out? Wait, so don't pull it out. What am I doing? Please remove the installation medium, then press enter. So now, I'm going to pull it. Yes. Because it told me to. There we go. Now we go back to... Oh wait, where did my cap go? I just lost my cap. Dang it! Stupid USB stick with separable caps. Then press enter. Pull out game week? Yeah. Alright. Oh, there it is. Yeah, nowadays I'm a fan of ones with caps that like come attached or just a slipping out one. I don't care if Link can get into it. I can pick it out. Alright. Remove RF for 100 extra FPS on every game. The only games that won't work are Ubisoft games, Fortnite, and some other easy anti-cheat games. Proton DB for checking compatibility. Okay, we are in, like Flynn. Hello, welcome to Linux Mint. Wow, it's like a nice welcome message. We ain't need no stinking manual, right? I can just X this out. Actually, let's go. I'm gonna minimize this. We're not gonna close it, but some of the fun is just digging around and poking around without reading the manual sometimes, you know? Okay, Proton DB, you said? Linux, okay. Playable. Deck verify, okay. Can I search? Where's the search bar? Oh, here we go. Search games. So you said Helldivers? No. Let's do Valheim. Valheim. Runs perfectly out of the box. Valheim is surprisingly hard to run, even though it has weird, like, polygonal graphics. It doesn't run, like, really well on a bunch of systems. So, okay. So Valheim works. Let's try to install Steam like I would on a Windows PC. I'm just going to type in Steam install. I'm not going to be, like, specifically. Okay, available on... For Chromebook, Apple, okay. So I'm like trying to do this as a dumb Windows user would and not look it up first. So if I wanted to go to look at Steam, it does have it available for the different OSs, like so Windows, Apple, and Chromebook. Install Steam through terminal. I don't think a typical, well, you guys said to do the installer some kind of like an install pack where I can choose a bunch of different programs. But honestly, even on Windows, I don't even do that. I install programs as I use them on a fresh install just to try to like keep it as clean as possible. Even though there's always programs you always get, right? Like Steam, VLC, whatever browser you're using. For me, Adobe and stuff. But you don't install Steam from the Windows Store. Grab it from the software store. See, imagine telling someone to grab software on Windows from the software store. I don't think people like doing that, but okay. Software manager. So you're talking about the software manager, right? Is this how I'm supposed to think about it? If I don't do like some kind of, like a huge install pack, if I were to do it one by one, is it recommended for the most part to install everything through the software store? I mean, it's like the App Store, right? Yes, it's like an App Store. It's interesting because on Windows side, I think with like Windows 11 now, almost every common program a person would use can be bought or installed through the Windows App Store. But nobody does that. At least nobody I know does that, and I don't do that. So yeah, this is definitely like a different line of thinking compared to that. Yeah, if you install from the software store, it'll manage your updates too. Yeah, you really have to get anything from the internet. Okay, good to know. It's like software manager. It's like the Google Play Store for Mint. Okay, well, we're gonna grab Steam from here. Steam, yes, 4.3 stars. Install. Oh, I gotta get drivers too. Okay, I mean, am I doing anything? Okay, yeah, that's authentic. Oh shoot, what was my password? Wait, I did set a password. It was 1234567. Okay, we're installing. I already have drivers. Oh, it already found drivers for me? Driver manager. Let's take a look. I need to make the font bigger because you guys might have to squint to see this. All right, we're going back in. We're doing this thing again. Scale content up. And we are going to... Yeah, 150. Let's go. For all the boomers with the bad eyes. Okay, there we go. Looking for drivers. This is installing. Okay, I can look at chat for a bit. Yeah, it has to install a bunch of other dependent stuff. Your drivers will be there. I want to actually see what driver version I have. Like, is it pretty good about grabbing the latest drivers? Because again, if we think about Windows, right? Windows is actually really good at auto detecting drivers for graphics cards. It always just gets you one that are like 6 months, a year old or something, though. Now, with the RX 580, I guess Adrenaline drivers, the way that drivers work with legacy cards these days, you can still get driver updates, but I don't think the base driver is actually any different. It's just the Adrenaline software that is like the more updated version. Because I don't think they have actually released new drivers for the RX 580 for a while. But if you go search for RX 580 drivers, you'll get something that came out like last month. Because it's just kind of like one driver install package that AMD puts out for like all the graphics cards, right? Okay, no drivers needed. It doesn't need any additional drivers, but what if I just wanted to take a look? Let's see, about system. Give me a second. Sorry, I'm trying. This is kind of hard to do because I'm learning and poking around for the first time, as well as trying to not ignore chat. So Steam is installed. Why is this up here? Can I remove this thing that's telling me I'm connected to a 15.6 inch whatever this monitor is through HDMI? This is the coolest thing I'm seeing today. What is the coolest thing? A newbie checking out. Steam is not installed. You got to click the install button. Wait. I did? Oh, wait. It didn't prepare. What? Interesting. Sorry. Yeah, I missed this part down here. It is not installed yet. I still have to click install, even though it has launch available here. Maybe that's just launching the install. Okay, install. What was it just doing? Downloading it earlier? Wait. Yeah, okay. I just did this. Yeah, that's a... Oh! You got me! You got me. It's funny because... Okay. Wait, what? This is not a picture! This is an actual thing! I could have sworn I already clicked install! Didn't I already... What was the install I clicked earlier? I'm gonna have to go watch that back in the stream. Because you don't tell me that you're gonna install, then have this launch button, and then now start installing. Obviously, the average person would be able to figure this out, you know, after just dicking around and clicking it and stuff. But I can't believe you guys got me with the picture. Here it is. It's updating. You downloaded the downloader? Oh my gosh. Okay, did anyone give me how to remove this thing on the top left? The shield with the orange dot in the bottom right, that's where you run your updates. Okay. That's an image, that's a picture. Okay, yeah. You need to close the display tab for it to go away. Do I have a display tab up? Yes, I do. Good call, good call. That is actually super confusing. I'm glad there's other non-Linux users in here seeing this for the first time too. Just because, if anything, all this is actually not that bad. Like, if you just sit down and like take the time to get through it and learn it, I'm sure it's fine. So hopefully this encourages more people to use Linux. I'm not like, right now, I'm not particularly for Linux because I've never used it before, but I'm definitely not against it because, first of all, it's free. So if people don't have to crack Windows or buy sketchy gray market CD keys and all that stuff and just use a good working OS that is completely free, open source, and have options, I'm all for it. So even though I am very, I'm moving very methodically and slowly and being a complete noob, if this encourages even at least one or more people to try any distro of Linux, I think the goal has been met. Okay. I'm going to quickly log into Steam. Go away real quick. Wait, let me make sure my Man, I'm gonna... Okay, here we go. Whoops. Where'd it go? Okay. I'm going to type in my password so that you guys can't see it. Let me see if this just works as is. Where's my phone? Oh, it's up here. Gotta authenticate with my phone. Approve. Hello. I think it is working. Just seeing your keystrokes password acquired. That would be amazing if you did. Okay, update. Okay, we can go back to it now. So we have Steam loading user data. Okay, what is this? Welcome to Updates Manager. Okay. I would assume that I don't have all the latest updates unless they, you know, keep on updating the ISO file. Like, a newer version of Update Manager is available. Okay, sure. Sure. Unless I'm making a mistake and you don't want the newest one. I would assume you would. Linux doesn't have something like Windows Defender, right? Does it need something like Windows Defender? So, for the, like, in the past, I remember people always, one of the pros of using, like, a Mac was like, oh, there's no viruses. And I never really looked into why there was not no viruses, probably more likely less viruses on Macs than on, like, Windows PCs. But is the same thought process similar to Linux? Because, like, it's just a small user base. It's not worth it for hackers and malicious folk to try to develop, you know, malware and hacks and things for Linux distros. Because, like, if you wanted the highest chance of duping someone, you would do it where the largest user base is, not where the 3% user base is, right? But anyone have any info on that? CrowdStrike has a Linux version, but not really a home user's law. They're almost non-existent. So it's just because there's like, it's non-existent that you don't need it. Not the fact that it inherently is safer. No, Linux doesn't need antivirus or a Windows Defender version of it. I pretty much nailed it. Okay. What the heck? Why do I gotta re-authenticate? Give me 1 second. Authenticate. Oh, wait. This isn't... Do I? I did not set up an authenticator for this. What is going on? Where is my authenticator? Jeez. Oh. Steam. Yeah, I do not have an authenticator set up on Steam. That's your password? I don't think it's my password because I just tried it. Look away. Yeah, it's not my password. Because I logged in successfully with my password so that it could shoot my phone, the Steam authenticator, to let me in. And now it's asking me for authentication, and I know what my password is, guys. We're sure this is my password? Oh! Sorry, I thought this was a part of Steam. Yes. Yes. Sorry, it's because my Steam name is Nobe too. You guys see it up here, right? My Steam name is also Nobe. Okay. I thought it was the Steam window. My bad. It's like the Windows user account control admin escalation. Got it. Okay. That was my bad for using the exact same username on on this as the my Steam name. I promise you guys, I'm not this stupid. I think part of it is also being live on stream. I don't have it as much time to sit and think and digest things. I'm constantly either doing this or talking to the chat. So give me some slack. I promise I'm not this stupid. We're learning. Law, it's okay, noob. Remember when Unk referenced in like Flynn? Is that like a old person thing? See, so here's my thought. That window, if it said Linux Mint or something else that was like a different window that like would include me in, that this is for the OS and not for Steam, because I had just put in my Steam info, then I would be like, okay, sure, I know this is gonna be the Mint thing. But the way that you guys saw that screen, you can rewind it. It just blacked out the entire screen, and then that came up with no indication that it was specifically for Mint, right? Me trying to justify my idiocy. Okay, what are we doing here? We're installing. Yes, we will install everything because if this is a mistake, I can either uninstall it. Here it is again. I'm sure I can remove that, right? Or can you not remove the password requirement? Is that like required every single time you do some admin level stuff? Linux does have many viruses, but normal users don't need to worry about it because that's the job of the developers. I mean, and that's kind of like with Windows Defender too, right? Can you? I've never even looked into this. Can you uninstall Windows Defender? I've never tried. I actually don't mind Windows Defender on the PC. I feel like it's pretty lightweight. I've used like really old hardware on it, and it hasn't bogged it down. But like, yeah, if the developers are working on it and constantly setting up out these updates and patches and stuff, then that's nice to not have to worry about it. But I think what the other person might have been asking earlier is like, is there a way to do a dedicated scan? And it sounds like that's not a thing, unless I guess you get some antivirus stuff built specifically for Linux. Why does Linux need double authentication? Indecline is a not Linux fan. For the last 3 streams, he has been very anti-Linux. Don't think you can uninstall Windows Defender. I wonder if there's like a custom version that people have made that doesn't have it in it, or is it just so integrated into it that the average, like people can't remove it. Clam AV is the Linux virus app. You do not really need it, but you can use it as an added layer. Okay. I need double auth in Windows when it has red/white errors. That is why Linux is more secure. It is zero trust. It's not really double. It's paranoid. It's just because Indecline is based in red-pilled. I don't know if he's red-pilled. Okay. Have you benchmarked this P in Windows? I have. Actually, okay. The system is up to date. Good. We are in, like Flynn again. Okay. So let's go and install. Where were we saying? Valheim? Valheim. Install. Oh my god, Valheim. I forgot. I thought Valheim was like 4 or 5 gigs. I forgot it was less than 2 gigabytes. That is, to me, amazing. Because it is a procedurally generated game. Oh yeah, this should take like 2 seconds, right? Look at it. Let's look at this. What? I do not have 5,000. The most hours I have in a game. I will show you guys while this installs. Don't judge me, okay? The most hours I have in any game. And again, these are idle hours. Now people can be like, what is Last Cloudia? You guys check it out for yourself. It's a mobile game that has a Steam thing. But, yeah. Anyways, 11,000. I don't know what my next most played game is. Aside from this. But... what's Grand Theft Auto? Well, this one I have less on, but this, so 250 something. I have a decent amount in Lost Ark, almost 600 hours. Throne and Liberty, ooh, I hit over 4. I'm a big MMO guy, so that's why you see a trend here. Cyberpunk is pretty, 128. Halo Infinite, almost 200. I don't know what my next most played game is off the top of my head. That's worse than the Roblox accusations. I know, it's a gacha game. I know. Okay, Valheim. We can just run it, right? If this was just like Windows, we can just run it. Guys, look how easy Linux was. And we're playing games. People said games aren't compatible. What's going on here? It's downloading some Steam Linux runtime stuff. Okay. Right? Wasn't this easy? Jason, it's time to revisit Linux. Maybe on the side, but I can't mainline it until Adobe works. You need to go to settings and enable Proton. It's in Steam settings compatibility. Okay. Uh-oh. Hey, it's launching, doing Vulkan shaders. 1 second. I will do that if this doesn't work. But if this works, we're just gonna truck on. Okay. Heavy Metal Tech, thank you for the $5. Do I have the thing in here? Oh, I don't. Spitfire alert. How do I replay that one? Replay it. No, I missed it. Let's go. Okay. Excuse me, I would like to be full screen if possible, please. What the? Full screen. Why am I... Wait, I didn't even check. Resolution. No, we were definitely at 1080p. But is it because I gotta do that thing that, who said that? That water event said? Okay. So we are, for some reason, the resolution is limited to upscaling method, full screen. Okay. Yes. Okay, now that we're full screen, it was some weirdness with that. Nope, we still don't have access to 1080p. Reboot probably, install a bunch of drivers. Okay. We will, restart. You might read a reboot. Also, scaling doesn't work so good in some distro. Hopefully it works well in Mint because it's one of the more used ones. Wait, isn't your resolution 720? No, it's not. We looked at the display resolution. It said 1920 by 1080p. You can sometimes use Adobe by using bottles. I don't even know what that means. Yeah. Good call on the reboot. Totally forgot. Though, when I install fresh... I don't... Actually, AMD drivers on Windows typically require a restart. NVIDIA, after you install drivers, you can just start using just like that. But yeah, AMD is always like, you must restart. Which is good practice, yes. But we're not like benchmarking or anything right now. So I would have just jumped into the game just to see. Okay, printer is added every single time, eh? Okay, so what are we doing? Okay, what's with this Proton? Let me see. But, oh wait, I didn't read Heavy Metal. Did you guys know that there was no vampires in Africa? Because holy water kills vampires because the rains are blessed in Africa. Is that one song? Who sings that song? Toto? Yes, right. I got it right. Chris says it's Toto. We're talking about that song. Yes. When you do whatever you're doing, whether it be content creation on Adobe or any other programs that you need basically 99.999% uptime, sometimes it's not enough. But if you're just dicking around, like, you know, casually, then yeah, it's fine. Does anyone know if DaVinci Resolve works very well on Linux? Okay. Okay, you might, no. Where's that message? So I need to go into settings and enable Proton. It's in the Steam settings compatibility. Okay, let me go do that. So, Steam, can I put this on pin to taskbar? Add to panel. I'll add to desktop, sure. But I really want to, do I just drag this down here? Like, boop. Hey, it's not doing the thing that Windows does. Why can't I just take this from desktop and drag it down here and it sticks? Okay, where is the Steam? Please pin to taskbar. Do I gotta like do, okay, add a new panel? Nope. Troubleshoot. Okay, let's see if I can figure this out. Was it the applets? Is it this applets? Here we go. What? Nope. It doesn't. Okay. Let's see how long I can dick around with this until I can figure out how to do. Do they even call this thing down here a taskbar? Is there a different word for this? Panel settings. Panel appearance. Yes, yes. Ooh, let's do center. Do I have to hit apply somewhere? Is that actually got, that didn't move it to the center? Okay. Wait. Panel appearance. Center. Panel edit mode. Oh, we're talking about that. There's a panel at the bottom. Pin to panel equals add to taskbar. Yeah, no, I'm trying to pin it to the panel. But did you guys see that option? Here, I'll bring it up back in here. Pin. Oh, add to panel. Jeez, there it is. Okay. There it is. So Proton. We have 182 people watching the stream right now. I don't know if it's by random chance or if people are actually interested in watching me dick around in Mint. Okay, so you said compatibility, Proton. I mean, this is all I needed, right? I don't actually have to do anything. Wait, Proton experimental, Proton hotfix. Oh, okay. I mean, at this point, I would normally Google it, but do not mess with the edit panels. You'll confuse yourself. Okay. Did you update the GPU drivers? I didn't. People in the chat told me I didn't need to update the GPU drivers. I do want to take a look at them. But in terms of Proton, the compatibility, do I just use like the latest version, which looks like 10.0-4? Use 904. So I'm going to put it at 904. Oh my god. Restart Steam. But what are we saying? Let's see. You need Proton Plus, sir. I literally just said this live is going to be so peak. I couldn't miss it. Well, you did update GPU drivers around the big update system. Leave it on. So multiple people are saying 904. So without looking into it more on Google or whatever, I would have just chosen the latest version thinking, okay. And I would imagine a decent number of people would do that just because we're trained to think the latest version of something is the most stable, most feature filled. But can you guys clue me in on why we keep it at 904? I will restart Steam right now. We will keep it on that. But see, people are saying you don't need to. I mean, if you did need GPU updates, that's where they would have been. Oops, I'm on Proton Experimental. I wonder why. I'm watching you on Manjaro Linux GNOME Desktop Arch based. All right, we're in like Flynn again. We're always going to be in like Flynn. Deal with it, Jason. Okay, let's see if Valheim can get us our resolution, which I will show you guys. Display resolution right there, 1920 by 1080p. It is right there, okay? We are on a portable monitor, so we are limited to 60 hertz on the refresh rate. It's actually looking like we might be good. This is looking sharper, for sure. How many hours do you have on Fallout 76? Well, Valheim loads. A lot. Fallout 76. 980 hours. Now, granted, I would say maybe half of that was farming Fastnut or whatever that festival masks. But I do have a decent amount of what's it called? A decent amount of active hours on Fallout 76. It's a really good game. If you guys haven't tried Fallout 76, I'm not even trying to simp for Bethesda. It's actually a good game. If you ever wanted Fallout to be multiplayer, that is it. Okay, settings. We still don't have 1080p. Okay. I do want to load into the game just to see. How many characters do I have? I guess these ones. Okay, we're gonna start. We're gonna start in benchmark world. Let's go to Nobe world. I have not logged into Valheim for a while. Right click Valheim in Steam property, set launch. Okay, I gotta do these custom things. Okay, let me do that. I mean, typically, this is like, I'm okay with doing stuff like this, but you guys gotta admit, when people say if they want to use something that just works, having to do stuff like this can get on other people's nerves. And for people who are completely beginners, I guess, do they have any business playing games if they can't even put in these custom commands in Steam? I don't know. I'm not going to judge people on that, but I'm just saying, right? Like, when people say, use Linux, it's, like, pretty much super easy to user-friendly, easy to use now. Steam works with it. It's compatible. 90% of the games work, blah, blah, blah. They don't tell you the small details like this. So, I think we need to be honest. Like, if there's actual problems, you need to tell people about it, because they're gonna be kind of upset if they install it as their main OS. Not like me, who has multiple computers that can mess around with this, but if they straight up wipe their Windows to install this and they run into these things, I don't think that is a good look on the Linux community as a whole. I got Fallout 76 for $4 on Christmas. Haven't played it yet. Is it new friendly? It is new friendly. It has one of the nicest communities, especially after the Fallout TV show came out. People will drop you straight up everything, like weapons and armors and like fun stuff. Yeah, it's a really good game. Amazing community. This game loads so slow. The reason Valheim loads slow is because, well, the game itself is only like 2 gigabytes, but it is also procedurally generated. So, oh, I remember this now. It is running smoothly. I don't have a frame rate counter on, but we are in. Oh my god, is there a way to pass time in Valheim? Let me go do this real quick. Yeah, honestly, it doesn't look like it's worked as my main OS. I think there's definitely very good reasons to use Linux. Where's my bed? But I think that if you already have Windows, if you already paid for a key, and if it's working for you, I don't see much reason to hop over to it, except for the learning experience. But I think the saving money thing would be a pretty big deal for people who do legit buy Windows for like $100. Where's my sword and my shield? Alright, let's go fight some stuff real quick. We should probably... Okay, quick question. Does MSI Afterburner and Riva Tuner, or is there an equivalent for like a monitoring software for Linux? Just so I don't have to try to Google it and mess around. Lacked? Goverlay and Lacked? Is that what it is? Why did you not use Bazite Linux? I didn't use Bazite because it was a community vote, and people in the chat voted Mint over Bazite. Bazite was like second place. There are equivalents. There's a Steam... Yeah, but Steam Overlay doesn't show you as much information. Or has it? I actually haven't messed with the Steam Overlay in a while. Where is it? I don't even know how to enable the Steam Overlay. Is it the shift... give me a second. Is it in here? Game overview... Wait, what is going on? Why is my mouse all of a sudden not working in there, but it works here? Oh, okay. The Steam overlay is in Steam settings, not in this overlay menu settings. Okay. Yeah, I've actually never will it just activate without me having to restart. Overlay interface. In game. Steam overlay. Enable Steam overlay. Yes. Show toolbars as list view. Overlay. Shift tab. Okay. Overlay performance on. We'll do top left. Text scaling. FPS. Okay. FPS detail. Here we go. Full details. Now if we go back in, hey, it does work. All right, we just need to make it bigger, like really big. Here we go. So what are we getting? 130 FPS. It doesn't feel like it because I'm on a 60 hertz monitor. You guys can see that up there, right? Gnomed. Member for 38 months. Arch is greater than Mint and Debian. Yeah, but Arch is like, I'm too noob for that, aren't I, Gnome? Alright, CPU usage 35%. GPU 100%, 74 degrees. Alright, where's my bow and arrow? Let's go shoot some stuff. We still need to figure out the drivers, though. I have not touched Valheim since, like, the year after it came out. So, there has been updates that I have not played of new biomes and stuff, I believe. Oh, great. I already killed everything here. Okay, well, if I can't find anything to kill, then, we're going to try to figure out the resolution problem. You have to know what you're doing with Arch. I'm happy with Pop OS. Oh, my FPS just dipped. What was that? Probably a bad optimization, I'm guessing, on Valheim's side. I'm not just going to blame Mint or Linux for everything. Oh, yeah. Woo, you guys are... I'm not sure if you guys are seeing the translation as well. But, it is getting... Oh, this thing... Yeah. Come on. These things used to one-shot you when you didn't have. Oh. What am I doing? Get back here. I'm out of energy. Also, I'm like playing sideways with not the best mouse and keyboard. I promise I'm not that bad at Valheim. Okay. We killed some stuff. Quit. Alright. Sorry. I need to get caught up in chat because you guys might have said some important stuff. Arch is more prone to viruses if you go crazy. Okay, not recommend. Yep. Okay, where is... Arch is hell, says people. Okay, so we got Proton. We got that overlay set up. Drivers. So, just... If I wanted to... can I just type in GPU? System information. So, can I look at, like, what actual driver version I'm on? GPU. PCID. Okay, so... let me poke around a little bit more. Because on Windows side... I don't... Because I use other programs, usually, to see what... Like, MSI Afterburner, GPU-Z, things like that. Let me think. Drivers. If I went to Device Manager, I think Windows tells you... If you choose your graphics card in the Device Manager, like, it tells you what driver version you're on. Let me take a look, though, real quick, just to make sure. So, properties, driver, details, events, driver. Yeah, so it tells you the exact driver version, the driver date, all that stuff. I would expect that to see that right here, because we are in the system information. We are looking at, like, it tells us a lot of things about like the graphics card, even though it did get this one wrong. It is not a 8 GB card. Am I missing something? Like, is the drivers, like, the driver version supposed to be here somewhere? Use terminal for it? Okay. Where, is there a help? Okay. Of course there's a help. Is there anything here that... If I just put... I'm just going to type in GPU. Is it idiot proof? Command GPU not found. Did you mean... Do... That is not something I would have ever pulled out of my butt. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Look at that. The resolution, it says 1280 by 720. Oh wait, you guys can't really see that because I'm in the way. Yeah, look at that. Even though our desktop environment is in 1080p. Okay, let's see. Anything else about these drivers? So was it 25.2.8? Ubuntu 24.041? That I'm guessing this is no. Wait. Control Alt T. What is this gonna do? Oh, that's to bring up terminal, which I already have open. Okay. Oh, I'm like totally in the way. Move out of the way. So that's why. Well, okay. So I mean, on Windows, you always have to go and get newest drivers, anyways, right? Let's do what we would normally do. RX 580 Linux drivers. Drivers and downloads. Now, sure. So I'm guessing we can just use these Ubuntu ones. Well, let's take a look. So this is 24.044. 24.041 is what I'm on. It looks like 25.35, 25.2.8. Okay. So I should probably get this one, right? Sudo update. Okay. When you do this, okay. Wait, what do you guys, so don't go downloading and install. Just use sudo apt update. Let the terminal update it. Okay. So is that the command I gotta run? You guys, for the people who aren't, like, who don't use Linux, because obviously people are giving me the commands to put in right now. They've done this before and know what they're doing, right? But for the people who have not used it before, would you have had the same thought process that I just did? First thing to do is run to see if I can get the Linux drivers from, you know, the AMD's website and stuff like that. And how long do you think it would have taken if nobody told you specifically and you didn't watch a YouTube video? Which I guess you should watch a YouTube video and read, you know, the manual or whatever that intro thing was. Though, would this have been covered in this little, not this. Where's the little welcome message? Oh, we were booted, so the welcome message is gone. But like, yeah, I don't know if I would have, how long it would have taken me to Google to find this. I actually, no, I take that back. ChatGPT and Gemini, I would have asked them, and they are really good with stuff like this. Can I just type it in here, or people are saying click the shield? Oh, it says put password for no, so I can just do it in here, it looks like. So, okay. Am I doing it correctly? I didn't click on the shield, I just did it to terminal. Is this fine? One package has been updated. Run apt list upgradable to see what updated. Noble updates, okay. You missed one part. Click the shield. Okay, click the shield is easier. Okay, so we're gonna refresh. So, I mean, this is not too different from Windows, where every time you, like, say, hey, get me updates, it doesn't get you, like, all the updates there is to be had. You gotta do it, like, in chunks. Wait, it says my system is up to date. Do you want to switch to the local mirror? Or usually faster? Yeah, sure. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Sure. I mean, is something supposed to pop up here? AI chat is great for learning to do things on Linux. Yeah, I mean, I use it all the time for the for my the Unraid server. So copy and paste this, Danny. Wait. See, I'm getting this is the chat can't even agree as to what the best way to do this is. I was told to click on the shield by multiple people, but Joe Tux Power PC has also given a lot of good tips and commands. So I just want to follow this path. I clicked on the shield like you guys asked. I'll even do it again. Were you guys expecting for the newer drivers to appear here? Because they have not. And it looks like I might have to go back to terminal. Mint probably doesn't have the latest driver in its repository. So update. Okay. Which is fine. I do need to become more familiar with like clicking on that for the updates. But it looks like we gotta do it through terminal, right? So now the GUI based update manager does all the app stuff for you. Use the GUI tools if you're acting as a new Windows user. Except for it sounds like they haven't grabbed the latest drivers yet. So let's do Joe's command. I can't copy and paste it because this is a different menu, a different computer, but I can type it. Sudo apt update y double ampersand sudo apt upgrade big Y. Did I do that right? I think so. Bang! We're hacking. We're doing something. Command lines are going. Reading package done. Rebuilding dependencies done. Reading state information. Okay. I've already forgotten what the other command was. Oh, inc. Okay. So now we do it again. Did that even change? 1 second. I need to take myself off of here for a second. Did that even change? 2528, 2528, 24041, 24. No, it looks like nothing changed. Why not why? I was given 2 different whys. If we look at Joe's message, was that supposed to be done in like 2 different lines? Because one of them had a small Y, one had a big Y. Look, I was just following the instructions. Should have installed Bazite. Wouldn't we have had the same problem with Bazite? Capital Y was a typo on my part. So no capital Y's. So we go back and we change it. So both lowercase Y's. Which is kind of crazy because it did do stuff. But the fact that it did stuff and it didn't do it correctly because of one upper or lowercase. Also, again, not the most user-friendly thing. I think if you had to do anything in terminal, I think that is already not user-friendly. Because the average person does not want to have to, like... The average person relies on a GUI. Unfortunately. And yes, I am very average. I'm a basic biatch, okay? I know, I mean, I can do this. I'm just trying to think of... kind of just like speaking my mind right now with regards to the first time experience. We're going to get through this, I promise. But I hope for all the very experienced people out there, this like re-grounds you into like what the actual first experience is like. We done? 0 to remove. It says 1 not upgraded. What are we doing here? Yeah, the average NPC gets confused. Whoa, the 2-factor authentication. If you're referring to me, that I think that's a what's it called? UX designer thing. They should have made it clear that that wasn't the Steam authenticator that they wanted me to type something in for. You just have to get used to the terminal. It's not as scary as and I know it's not scary. It's just more inconvenient. And you have to agree with me that it is not as like user facing friendly. Like you don't win more people over saying you gotta do a bunch of stuff in the terminal. Everybody who's an enthusiast would be okay with it. Like this is fun, but the average person does not find they use their computer as a tool, not as a toy to like mess around with. It says on the screen it didn't like the capital Y. Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, the E. I'm guessing the E is for error in red. Even. I apologize. I missed that. Okay. Let me do the same thing here. It didn't. So I'm reading now. 0 upgraded. Yeah, 0 newly installed. So we're not expecting anything to be different because nothing worked. It didn't give me an error this time. The following upgrades have been deferred due to phasing. Like, okay, we could put that into Chat GPT, or if there's someone who knows what's going on, we could save some time because we are almost 2 hours in the stream, and I do have to cut off probably around 2:15. The Y is not completely necessary. It just saves you a step to click the Y. Also, if it says not upgraded, sometimes the system hold back packages to prevent conflicts. Okay. One package can be upgraded. Run applets upgradable to see it. Yeah, but we did do that earlier, and it wasn't the unless Noble update. Yeah, I brought. Oops, sorry. This is all on the screen. Yeah, no, I did this earlier already. We saw this up here. Or where did I pull it up? Yeah, I did it up here already. So unless I don't know what Noble updates like, to me this doesn't mean anything right now. I don't think it doesn't look like anything that is related to graphics drivers, but I might be wrong. Linux is so easy. If you can't handle it, maybe you're stupid. Oh my god, Jason, you are so mean. I'm gonna go cry now. We are the minority people, LMAO. For people that say that they are very tech savvy, they are just really dumb when it comes to consumers, LMAO. They are really dumb when it comes to... Wait, what? It's not an AMD driver's issues anyways. Well, okay. So for this right here, for the resolution to just straight up say that, I don't know why it's saying 1280 by 720 when other parts of the OS does not say that, right? So I'm not going to pretend like Windows has never had weird things like this go on, but actually, what's another game we can install? Where's the other window? Visible. Wait. Where is Steam Store? Sure. Did I move it to a different window? No, it's right here. Okay. Let's just try a different. What is a small game that I can install? Skyrim. We're doing Skyrim. I know that one is pretty small, and it's old. So, it's 8 gig. Wait, no, we're gonna do original version. This should be pretty quick. Hollow Knight. Change your scaling back to 100. It might fix the resolution issue. Good. That's a good point. Display. That would be very weird. Hopefully I don't have to restart after doing this. Keep changes. That actually... Birdcage good 2972. You did it. You did it. Because now it's showing 1920 by 1080. Okay. I think that's kind of problematic because we can't assume that there's no boomers or older people or just young people with bad eyesight that might actually need to scale up the UI. And if that makes it so that you cannot play games at 1080p because you need, Windows, the different Explorer windows and text to be bigger, that's kind of annoying. Now, I'm not saying that there's no fix to it, because people are probably chiming in with what the fix is. Pretty sure it's because you're using Xwayland, logout. No, we just figured it out. So let's see. Try installing applications like GIMP for photo editing. I have very limited bandwidth for deep focus energy. I am not learning Linux to appease Windows deniers. Good take, Linux. In decline. So that is a huge W, because I don't think I saw anybody else except for Birdcage mention. Let me look up. Joe says, Danny, like I said earlier, you're doing amazing out of the gate and having all of us bombard you with... Dude, you have no idea. Me trying to read chat and do this, it's very fun. I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am, because even though I may seem stressed out, I was made for this. No, I'm kidding. No, the streams when it's everything is off the top and not planned, this is perfect. You install Valheim before enabling Proton. So Garrett with another good tip. So I can reinstall Valheim. Actually, okay, here. Let's try this out. We're gonna try to fix this. Let's see if that fixed it, because that I think is a could be a good. Oh, what just happened to it? That could be the reason why Valheim didn't work, because I did install it before doing the Proton thing. But I don't. I think honestly, I think we figured it out. So we'll play this. Skyrim's already down. It's already done? Nice. That was very quick. Okay, Valheim's launching. We're going to try this. Don't forget the sudo. Wait, okay. What are you guys talking about? When you guys... Oh, when you were talking about doing it in the terminal? When you said don't forget the sudo? Imagine installing Linux on Raspberry Pi and telling your family you're the next Bill Gates. Text size gets changed via settings, and you can see. Yeah, so I was looking for the text size. Let me see if I can just type in text. Because in Windows, you gotta admit, Windows, when you search for things in the OS, the search bar has gotten very good over the years. Even though they moved stuff around when they went to Windows 11 versus 10, and people complain like, "Oh, things are moved around. I don't like it." You can still search for almost literally any setting that you want, and it will bring up the window for you. So let's say I'm going to type in text editor, Office Writer, and LibreOffice. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. I want to change the font, maybe? Fonts. View the fonts in your system. Can I change font sizes? No, these are just fonts. It should be under display. Someone just told me that I should be able to change only the font size, but everything I'm looking for specifically is not showing it. When you search for something in Windows, it pulls up a Bing search. If you search for something, like I'm going to search on Windows right now, font, boom, and then make text size bigger, it comes up like instantly. So I typed in text, didn't work. I typed in font, didn't work. Display, we've already seen the display menu. Is there anyone know how to make the font, not the whole UI, just the font bigger? Probably in the theme. Just type font selection. That's what unless it was actually in there. And sorry, I know my head is in the way. Font selection. Configure your system fonts. Okay, here we go. Oh, there it is. Let's do the times. Oh, there we go. We got it. Everything is huge now. We did it. Every time I search for programs already installed, the only time it does a Bing search for me is when the program isn't installed. Also, let me move my head because I'm totally in the way being on the side here. Where am I? There he goes. Let's move me over here. All right, here. We'll move me up here. This works. Just so no, I will be still in the way of the command. We're going to be over here. Now it looks like I'm not facing everything. I got to flip this. I got to transform, and I got to flip. There we go. Now we are going to hang out above the clock. All right. Valheim is still launching for some reason. I don't know what Valheim is doing. I'm going to cancel it real quick. We're going to relaunch Valheim. Yes, thank you, Joe. Joe, you got to be here every stream when we do Linux stuff. I appreciate you, by the way. Now will Valheim resolution be broken again? Well, Valheim might just be broken in general because... Let's see. Come on. Oh, no, it's in. All right, let's do this. Let's go. It's important to remember that you're using Wayland, which is still experimental. Some apps act weird and are meant to be rendered with X11. I don't even know what you just said. On Windows 11, you have been playing an hour ago? What? Oh, you mean I would have been playing the game an hour ago. Alright, let's go. Settings. There it is. It has been solved, boys. I wonder if ChatGPT would have very quickly solved that problem. Should we go check? I know. No, see, the thing about ChatGPT or Gemini or any of these languages is you have to, like, lead the horse to water. I think it would have suggested so many other weird stuff, and this is based on my experience using it, trying to troubleshoot things. You have to, like, try a bunch of different things that don't work and give it specifically, like, very specific information for it to get you the right answer. With the Unrate, with my home server, I've had ChatGPT suggest me, like, 5 different things that didn't end up working until I let it, you know, because it always asks for more information. I had to give more detailed and stuff. For this one, would I have given it enough information to solve the issue correctly? I'm trying to think. What would I have told it? Hey, Valheim is only at that. In the terminal, it's also giving me 720 as a resolution, even though my display resolution is. We might have to run that experiment and see if it would have led us to the solution. The more you use it, the better it gets. I can see this for sure. Yeah, definitely. Alright, now we're only at 70 something FPS because the resolution just increased by 50%. But it's still good to go. Okay. I have no doubt that Skyrim will work now. What's your PC specs? My PC specs or this PC specs? This PC specs is right here. It is all here on the screen for you to see. It's good for a free OS, I think. I mean, the funny thing is, as much as people want to bash whatever OS, I could give you $1 billion, sit you in a room with a high-end computer and say, program an operating system. And 99.99999% of the population wouldn't even get 0.1% of the way there. I'm still amazed that people just got together and was like, all right, let's make this thing free and open source for other people to use and to, like, develop alongside and all that stuff. As much as we have run into some road bumps and hiccups with this, it's still amazing at the end of the day. You couldn't even begin to dream how to come up with an OS like this. So that's like looking at the larger perspective, right? And it is working. We did get games to work. Okay, we are over 2 hours in the stream. I think we did quite a bit today. We did a lot of poking around. We got it successfully installed. We got games to work. Drivers is not the newest drivers it looks like, but that wasn't the issue anyways. So I think for next week's stream, what should we do? Actually, let's brainstorm. I'm going to focus on chat now because I've been not too focused on chat while in Mint. Let me read. I've only been using Linux since late October. 2025 stirred on GNOME. Ended out on Cosmic desktop environment using Pop OS. Is this on your main system or on like a secondary for fun system? The issue about hopping around different distros, at least fully installing them, I guess you could do that little environment where you can mess around with it. But like, I feel like you have to spend time in it to know if it works for you. Again, I can't imagine on my main computer hopping around to different OSs and distros that often because I wouldn't be able to get anything done. Like, I need things to be installed and I need to use it on a daily basis and use it in depth to know like all the weird bugs and things that you have to troubleshoot. But like, to constantly be hopping, that is something that for me personally, I can only do on a secondary system like this. That is completely unrelated to my main system that I still need to get work done. So, when people tell me like, oh, I've been using, you know, a certain distro and stuff, like, did you just go in on your main one or are you just testing it with other systems? People will claim Linux is superior only to make it act, look, and behave like Windows. Well, we did choose the Windows most looking like one, and in future streams we will check out other ones, but I think there's still more that we need to do on this one because I do want to install a more demanding game, which I should start right now. Let's put God of War onto it. Let's do God of War. How big is that one? God of War. Oh my god, 175 gigabytes. Never mind, not God of War. What is an Arc Raiders? Arc Raiders is pretty well optimized. We'll install Arc Raiders on it. Oh my goodness. So the UI is too big, and this even happens on Windows, so I'm not gonna blame Linux for this, but I cannot reach the accept button at the bottom. So we're gonna have to put the font size back down, and we're just gonna have this window. We're gonna do 1.5. 2 was too big. Can we reach it? Oh my god, we can barely reach it. Can I move the taskbar to the side? Can I move the taskbar? Whatever, I can accept it. It's fine. Yes, the babies sound like they're going crazy right now. Stellar Blade demo. Oh yeah, the demos on games should be pretty small. Pico-Wubs. At least it'll look like Windows, but it won't be spying on you. Plot twist, everything is spying on you. That's kind of my take on it too. Like, if you have a smartphone, if you use any kind of social media, you're already being spied on. I haven't looked into how much Windows spies on you versus everything else that we kind of blindly accept and use. But I just don't have the time. Unfortunately, if I could go back in time, maybe I would care more about that stuff into like my, early to mid 20s, before being married, before having kids, before being, having this YouTube channel be as established as it is, and I had way more free time. I would look into more of that stuff. But these days, dude, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I am just kind of ignorant to some of this stuff when it comes to, like, yes, Windows is spying on us. But it's convenient for me, so I'm going to keep using it. Yo, we rating some Arc? Let's see how fast this is installing. It's transferring. I'm doing a direct transfer. Where is it getting it from? Oh, it's from my... But it's going at, over the network, 760, which is pretty blazing fast. It's going to be done in 6 minutes for a 40 gigabyte game. I'm using Ubuntu 2604. I think the point about people moving Linux from Windows isn't functionally, but more about morals. Microsoft has gone incredibly downhill. Yeah, but you can talk about morals and ethical usage and consumption on anything, right? Are those same people also still buying from Amazon? And are they... What else do people find morally gray? There's Microsoft, Amazon. We're the more big evil companies. What I'm saying is, yes, everyone has the right to choose what they use and what they don't. I think a lot of people just choose out of convenience, similar to why people still keep, buy from Amazon because it is convenient and it ships straight to your door, even though they make their employees piss in a bottle and don't give them adequate breaks, right? The phones you're using, unless you're using something that was mined and made in the US, probably some child labor went into it. The batteries were mined in some country with, back-breaking labor. People probably died during... Uh-oh. Did we just freeze? Did we freeze? My computer looked like it hiccuped a bit, but OBS is showing it's fine, and I'm not sure if you guys saw freezing on your end. Yeah, I use Linux while I use my Android Google phone abusing cheap overseas labor. I'm so enlightened. Exactly, that's what I was getting at. Like, morally, I think living in a first world country, already, there's a lot of things wrong. Yeah, Bezos pulled some crap today that I still have important stuff coming up from Amazon Friday. I didn't freeze? Okay, that was really weird. That was like for a split second. I thought the stream had crashed, but we're good. Windows went from being annoying to invasive and broken. People got super pissed. Microsoft is already backing down. I'm okay with people getting pissed and complaining because I mean we see this in other areas too, right? I guess specifically for what we talk about here on the channel, hardware space, AMD, they kind of walked back their thing about the older 6000 series cards not being getting more driver support and stuff like that. So yeah, people getting mad, pushing back, and then making these big companies walk back. I'm for that. Am I gonna get a slate? What are we talking about here? What is a slate? Is this a phone? Light phone. Is this the thing? Who did I see? I think MKBHD. Oh, what is going on with this website? Am I getting hacked? Okay, seriously, what the heck is going on? Stop. Wait, shoot. Stop. Okay, anyways. I think I saw this. Yeah, so April 2025. No, I'm not getting a slate. I need my phone to actually be smart, unfortunately. This phone, like, it declutters like a bunch of this stuff. I don't know, man. I feel like there are apps you can install on smartphones to like limit your access to a lot of things to make it like this. I don't know if I would want to buy specifically a phone to do that. And I know there's an argument like, oh, well, if you have a smartphone, you could always disable those, those limitations. And it's like, yeah, we'll just have more self-control. But what if in a pinch I do need the smart functions and I'm just stuck with this? Now I'm carrying around two phones. I think the concept is pretty cool, but definitely not for me. Just get a kosher phone. Yo. Where are all these? I'm not super into phone tech, but kosher cell. What is this? I've never heard of this. Safe, productive kosher phones. Make the most advanced technology without the distractions and temptations. Is this the same thing? Oh, wait. What is this? Are these actual phones? They are. Oh, look at this. You can get like an old school looking phone. Oh my god, these websites. Or my Firefox is broken. What is going on? Someone's going to get an epileptic attack. Is this Firefox doing this? Or are these websites? He meant to say the Slate truck. Oh, I think I remember seeing that one. Yeah, it's that very basic electric truck, right? Yes, Chris, I think, would like the Slate truck. Or just never make an Instagram or TikTok account in the first place. That is true. But does YouTube count? Because YouTube is social media too. I think having Linux experience using Linux is a good thing to have under your belt if you use Windows, just in case you do have to transition. Oh yeah, definitely. Gaining more knowledge on stuff, on other software, I think is always a good thing. Oh, Slate is a truck EV. Okay. It's funny because there was a Slate phone too. Yes. No, we're not going to get that. I don't know what our second EV is going to be. We are starting to talk about it because just the way that our work situation works out. Now with the kids, it's like, okay, the kids basically have to stay with the Model Y because it's big enough and it has the car seats in it. But Melissa has a longer commute to work. And if I'm watching the girls and she takes the EV because it's more, efficient in terms of everything, then if there's an emergency, I can't take the girl. I mean, I could take them in our other cars. We gotta put the other car seats we have in there. But like, preferably we would have the bigger, safer car with the babies at all times. So now we're thinking like, all right, if we did get a second EV, what would it be? I don't know if I would want to get another Tesla. Not just on a moral thing, but also like it would be nice to try other EVs. The Mach-E is definitely up there still, but also, do we want to wait for the second gen Mach-E? I don't think I would ever get a truck though, Chris, is where I'm getting at. We're probably gonna just stick to like compact crossover SUV likes. Rivian SUVs out of our price range, unfortunately. Yeah, Rivian. How much are those things? Even in the used market, 73,000. Yeah, like we're looking at cars a little bit over half the cost of this. We're looking like $40,000 to $50,000 range. $20,000 is a lot, and we don't need truck. We don't need a truck. I mean, I guess there's the SUV. You said Rivian SUV, and that more? No, it's about the same. But, dude, $20,000 to $30,000 more is a lot of money. We don't make the kind of money where that's like, negligible to us. Yeah, unfortunately, dude, having a Tesla, I think it's a great car. I think it's the iPhones of EVs, to be honest. But it is the best sold, like kind of like most feature filled, all that stuff. I think there's a lot of, if you compare iPhones in the phone market to Teslas in the EV market, there's a lot of similar comparisons. But yeah, I hope Elon doesn't make his, what is it, 1 million or whatever. He's trying to reach some FSD subscription number so he can get a $1 trillion package. I hope he fails at that. I hope he also tanks the company stock so much that they kick him out of the company and get a new CEO that is not controversial, because I think the product is great. I think the technology in it is great. I think the engineers and most of the people working at the company is great. Elon is just a dick. So, like, never mind. I've already talked about Elon in previous streams. But, yeah, unfortunately, we do have a car that is from a company that is headed by Elon Musk. Can he even be kicked out? I thought he owns majority of Tesla shares. I don't know. I thought the other shareholders could kick him out if he tanked the value of the stock so much that it starts impacting them. But I don't know if he owns the majority of the shares. We can ask ChatGPT this. We can ask Grok this. The AI language that he is secretly trying to train to be his, a fanboy of him and MAGA and stuff. I wish I had his ketamine and hookup. Straight SUV unless you need 4 doors. Of course we need 4 doors, Chris. You know how hard it would be to load babies into car seats? Seriously? They didn't put 4 doors on this thing? What the heck? How about, we did look at the Chevy Equinox. The Chevy Equinox is, my God, it is priced so well for an EV. Now, I think we've been spoiled, though. I used to think I just wanted a car to be electrified and everything else could be the same. So the Chevy Equinox, I've watched a number of videos on it. It does feel like a standard ICE vehicle. Not that ICE, but internal combustion engine vehicle except you take the ICE part out and you put in electric. But like, I feel like a lot of EVs, whether it be like Teslas or I don't know, anything from Volkswagen, Hyundai, Kia, EVs do have like this kind of more futuristic feel about them with the features they have, the software that's built into it, just the way that they've designed the interior, all that stuff. Now that we've had the Model Y, which does do all those things, picking an EV that's like the Leaf or like an Equinox, it's like, ooh, we've experienced this futuristicness of an EV. I don't know if we could go back. But that, though, the Equinox was part of the consideration because I think they're like 35 grand or something for a compact crossover SUV that's like otherwise competitive. That's like super affordable. We didn't end up choosing it eventually. And I think there is a market for people who don't care about like the bells and whistles that come with like Teslas and Rivians and all that stuff. The Equinox is for them. But I think I do like my car being more futuristic, especially if I'm going to drop 50 grand on it or 40 grand or whatever. I'm avoiding all EVs. I mean, I think, especially where we live, electricity is like really cheap. I don't know if that's going to change. You know, all this talk about AI data centers moving into states and towns and stuff and driving up electricity costs. Our electricity costs have gone up year after year, but it's still some of the cheapest in the nation, and it hasn't been due to AI data centers coming in yet. Yeah, let me put my baby, not only baby seats yet, but 2 baby seats in a 2-door SUV. 2-door SUV to me, I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe they have an explanation as to why that is, but with an SUV, you think like carrying you just think of space. Sure, it is for hauling things in the back portion, but also for moving people around, and flipping down the seat is just not ADA compliant. Who needs a car when you can walk? Only if you live in walkable cities, which I know in Europe and like other parts of the world, there are very walkable cities. In America, things are spaced apart. And I guess there's transit and stuff that you can take, true, but we don't have really that many truly walkable areas except for like very populated downtown spaces and stuff like that. We did look at the Kia Niro as well. It was a little too, it's on the smaller side though. Get this, how about they build AI data centers on the moon and run on the cloud? Good point. My truck is a twin turbo. Is that eco-friendly enough? Ioniq 5 starts at $35K. Yeah, I think especially with the incentives, we could have gotten like a Model Y for cheaper, but we did want the long range and the all-wheel drive. And once you start adding that to any EV, just changing to all-wheel drive bumps it up like usually like 5 to 7K. Long range is another 3 to 4K, and then like other stuff. So you're usually pushing into like the 40K territory. There's an EV Mustang, which people are mad about. We almost bought it. The Mustang Mach-E. Maybe we wait till 2nd gen. I like the look of this. Yeah, I like the Mach-E. True Mustang fans hate it because they hate that their Mustang has been made into an EV and the look of it has been changed to a compact crossover 4-door, but oh, okay, it's Firefox. It's even doing it here. What is going on? Why do some websites... Is it? What is going on? Sorry for the epilepsy. Yeah, what the heck? I don't know what's going on with this Firefox right now. I don't use Firefox normally. I only use it for the stream. That hasn't really happened before. And it's only happening on certain websites. But can I click on this one? Nope, it's Wikipedia. Something's going on. GPU failing? It's not the GPU failing. It's fine. I'm running the stream off the GPU as well as this other tab works just fine. But yeah, I like this car. I think the Tesla is better than it in a number of ways, but hopefully Gen 2 they improve it. That's an accessibility setting on Firefox about reading mode. Really? But why would it only happen to some tabs and not others? There's nothing wrong with the vehicle. The problem is they called it a Mustang. Yeah, but they're the company. They're Ford. It's their thing. They can call it whatever they want. Like, how it's like GIF versus GIF. People are like, oh, but the maker of GIF calls it GIF. We're talking about the movable pictures. Graphical interchange format. Is that what it stands for? Anyways, if we are going to say Ford is not allowed to call the Mustang Mach-E what it is, and they are the creators of it, that means we can say that the people can decide that it's pronounced GIF and not GIF. That's all I'm saying. Does it have to be an EV? How about a hybrid? Nah, EV. I'm done pumping gas. Done. Gone are the days of you're on a late drive home and you're like, oh, I just want to go home, but the gas is getting low. If I don't stop into the gas station and fill up right now, I'm going to regret it the next morning because I know I'm going to be running late already, and now I'm going to be low on gas and have to go get it. EV, you get home, you plug it in, it's topped off the next morning. I know there are range things, but there are superchargers in a lot of places now that let you pump it not as fast as gas, but for 99.9 of our percent of our trips, we don't go far enough to like run out of range. But that's my personal reason. I'm just done with going to gas stations and worrying about having to pump gas ever. The EV is always topped off when it needs to be topped off in my own garage. And it's cheaper than gas. And it's way faster. The majority of EVs are faster than your average car that costs the same price because that's just how electric motors work. Instant torque, and you can accelerate blazing fast. And you don't have to pay supercar price monies for that speed. You can buy a performance Model Y. I forgot how much Model 3, which can beat $100,000 supercars, which is kind of irresponsible for some people, I think, because you shouldn't put an 18-year-old behind a huge, heavy car that has a 0 to 60 in like less than 3 seconds. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's why we still have like the Honda Civic, we still have the Yaris. Those just aren't worth selling. They're not worth anything, and they're good as backup cars for if we do want to take a road trip that is beyond the range of our EV. But yeah, from here on out, I think it's full EV, no more hybrid. Also, like I guess hybrids could have regenerative braking, but like maintenance, like oil changes and brake changes with EVs, they're spaced out way more. Well, there's no oil changes, but brake changes, because you're regenerative braking, you're not wearing on the brake pads. So it also depends on your use case, whether you want to be the most stable desktop. Oh, sorry. We're talking about back to Linux. I bought an EV from someone when I was in between cars, and I would never, ever buy one. Interesting. Why not? Yeah, pumping gas is so 2025 law. I like stopping by the gas station to get snacky snacks. I'll stop by to get snacks on my own accord, not because I need gas. I like to be able to choose to make that pit stop, not because I need to, but because I want to. I paid $2 a gallon for gas. California is a hell hole. $5? Yeah. What the national average? I was just watching a debate about this. The national average, I think, did go down, but like only by 5 cents. It was a Jubilee video. Those are always the best, aren't they? Having people who can't have normal conversations argue about politics and what side of the aisle they're on. California's mileage tax is going to test the cheaper than gas argument. Wait. The most terrifying thing when driving an EV is a car crash. You're talking about like the exploding batteries and stuff. I do think the media has overplayed that one. Because if it was as... I don't know the stats off the top of my head. You can either ChatGPT or Gemini it. But, okay, if a lithium-ion battery EV car catches on fire, it is very hard to put out compared to a gasoline fire. Yes. Now, let's take a look at how many of those fires have existed in the, like, as a whole, in the population of all EVs that have ever existed versus how many accidents and fires have happened with normal ICE vehicles. And yes, there is a risk to it, but there are a lot of benefits to it, whether it be environmentally or just moving us forward, as a race in terms of the next tech. But where was I going with this? There was a point. My ADHD brain moved somewhere else. But yeah, if we thought that way, I mean, that's kind of like how nuclear power works, right? If something goes wrong when it comes to a nuclear reactor, it is very, very bad. But compared to like how clean it is and how much power it can produce, we just need to make it safer, which only happens when these companies have more time to invest to improve the technology. I don't know. Would we consider EV tech new or like still kind of just like newish at this point, or is it has it been around long enough? Tesla's been, I don't know when the first EV was, but Tesla's been around since when was the first Tesla? And they're kind of the pioneers of it, I guess you could say. The Roadster was 2011, so it's been 15 years. Even though I wouldn't say the Roadster was like a commonly driven car. Current EVs are very common though. It's not really new, but I think there's still a ways to go in terms of improving, I guess. I live in Cali and it's 350 for me. Your $2 gas isn't going to last forever either. Yeah, and then we get into the politics of it. A a 5 minute gas stop isn't a big deal once a week. It's not until you haven't done it. Or how do I it's kind of hard to explain. I know there are people who won't ever want an EV, whether it be because they're gearheads and they love the sound of like an engine and all that stuff. But it's not just that. I listed off other things aside from getting gas. For me, it's a big one. But the regenerative braking aspect of it, just for the price that you get, the quicker acceleration to be able to get yourself in and out of, when you're driving, if you're having to quickly merge or change lanes or do something, like just having that power is nicer. And then just, I don't know, the modernization and futuristic feeling of it. Let me think of, have I been in like a 2025, 2026 car to compare? Because we did try a bunch of EVs out. And for the most part, a lot of them felt futuristic. $5 super chat. First practical electric car in the United States was developed by William Morrison, a chemist from Des Moines, Iowa, around 1890. Yeah, but that thing would have gotten like less than a mile. I don't know if I remember reading about this, but yeah. So electric cars have been around for more than just, the last 10, 20 years. The ranges of the first ones though, especially if we're going back to 1890, it's going to be horrible. But even like 20 years ago, that's beyond the scope of this stream. We got to end soon. We're 2.5 hours. We didn't even talk about what we're doing next stream for Linux. Do we get World of Warcraft working if I can get a big enough drive into this system? Or do we try a different distro? Let's quickly brainstorm, and then I can go have some dinner, play with the girls, and then try to finish up this YouTube video for this weekend. Fill my tank up in 10 minutes last 2 months versus EV. I need to charge every day. I'm good. What? In 10 minutes every day? You don't need to charge anything. When you go home, I guess it depends. We own a home, and we have a level 2 charger. So if you live in an apartment complex, that would be annoying. I do agree on that. Having to go to some Tesla charging station and sit there for 20 minutes because you don't, you live in an apartment or a townhome or something that doesn't afford you a garage. But for people that do have garages, that do install level 2 chargers in, you get home, you open your door, the charger is like right there. There's no, I have to charge it every night. The range that you got on your gas car is the exact amount of times you still have to charge up your car. When I say the car's topped off every night, we don't top it off every night. It could be topped off every night, but because we don't constantly use the whole range up, we only charge it once it gets to 40, 30%, whatever it is. So this comparison doesn't make sense because it is actually more convenient to just simply plug in your car once every week or whatever, however often you drive, than to have to go to the gas station, deal with someone potentially spilled gas on the ground that's now on your shoes. I'm making pumping gasoline sound like the worst thing in the world. It's actually not, but in comparison, once you experience charging up at home, I think you'll start to notice these things that once you go back, it's like, okay, yeah, these are minor annoyances. We need the ready. Yeah, you're right. The infrastructure, I don't think would be able to support overnight, instantly, every ICE vehicle being replaced with an EV. But it is slowly rolling out just as people are slowly adopting EVs. So it does work out perfectly that some of you out there are super against EVs and don't want to hop over to it because it isn't ready for all of you anyways. if you work, not just Cali, yeah. I mean, up here we have them too. Like lots of states. If you work for like tech companies and stuff, I think every state eventually, once EVs are adopted enough, workplaces are all gonna have EV chargers, and we're gonna replace gas stations. Maybe not in my lifetime, or not in our lifetime, but one day, it will be a thing where you have to specifically go to a specialty gas station to get gas for your classic car that you have kept over the years, because it's gonna be a thing in the past. I don't know what year that's gonna be. I'm curious if I will see that in my lifetime. I got like maybe 50 or 60 years to go until I croak. Gas is not cheaper. For some people, gas is cheaper, but that's also usually where cost of living is cheaper. Let's see, Washington, Lynnwood gas. Is that going to show me? How much is gas around me? So gas around me is about $4, it looks like. National average, I believe, is below that. We got some QFC Fuel Center, has it for $3.70. Do you guys, I'm curious, this is unrelated, kind of, but do you guys pay more for gas if it's at a specific gas station, or do you get the cheapest gas? Because I know some people like think Arco gas is like the worst quality gas in the world, and that like Chevron and other stuff is Costco gas is like higher quality. When I fill up, I usually go to Safeway. Where's the Safeways? Safeway, so Fred Meyer's is actually pretty good, $3.66. I go to like Safeway or Fred Meyer's. Sometimes Arco has it for cheap too, but yeah, I don't be buying that premium stuff. Alabama's $2.39. Just paid $2.70 in Mississippi. Never checked. I never checked the quality of gas, though. In Michigan, my area is almost $2.80. Look up what distro uses. Wait. Look up what distro uses the latest AMD Linux gaming drivers that is user friendly. Demolin. Sorry. Stick with one distro. Agreed. Stick with one main distro. We'll do. Yeah. We'll do Mint for a little bit. Maybe we do. Actually, I want to get the overlays working. I want to get, and we'll have a harder to run game. Actually, I'll see if I can find a game that we could direct side by side compare benchmarks, which is gonna be different because the drivers have changed since then. But yeah, Cleveland, Ohio, $2.89. I go to Costco because we always shop at Costco. Does your Costco have long lines for gas too? Every Costco that I go to around my area, the gas lines are so long because it is the best deal. But then you end up waiting behind like 5 or 6 cars before you can finally get to the pump at like normal hours. Obviously, if you go at like right before closing or something, it's not as bad. EV here in Alaska is no go lol. Yeah, talking about infrastructure. I just go to the nearest Costco. Oh, MI is Michigan. I was gonna guess Michigan first. What is the Mississippi state code? It's not MS, is it? It is MS. Don't EVs perform like terribly in the freezing cold? We've had freezing cold weather. You do lose range. Not terribly. It's not like, I don't think it's as bad as like half. Also, older gen EVs, it's worse of a problem because it doesn't like prime the battery. But newer ones, I mean, you always will lose range. But some of them put, they put heaters in it to help warm it up, to get it, up to temperature before you start going and stuff. Like I think the latest, like they put a heat pump in it. I think like is it the latest version? The latest version of the Mach-E from Ford does that. So you do lose range. So yeah, if you live in a place that has like swings wildly in temperature, it's not like you're gonna, I don't think, okay, we gotta Google this because I'm curious. ChatGPT. And we're just gonna assume ChatGPT is right. Oh, what the heck? Oh, whoops, wrong browser. EVs ever get only half of their rated range due to temperature changes? Yes, EVs can sometimes get close to half of the rated range due to temperature, but it's usually an extreme worst case scenario, not the norm. Okay, what is the typical? Cold is the main culprit, battery chemistry. Okay, so if it's mild cold, which is 0 to 10 degrees C, so 32 to 50, so like right at freezing up to 50, you lose like 10 to 25%. If it's very cold, we're talking about below freezing, you get 25 to 40% loss. And then if it's even colder than that, you can lose up to 50%. Assuming this is correct, right? This could be wrong, but these numbers look like reasonable. And so for ours, we got the long range model. It's supposed to be 320 miles of range. So in the worst case scenario, you still get like 100 something miles, which I think for me still works out to be cheaper than gas. And you just have to charge a little bit more, but it doesn't get that cold up here. Don't forget to eat. I know, right? That's actually not that bad. Towing is too good with, is too good? What do you mean by towing is too good with an EV either? Or isn't too good? You're talking about because you can't just put it in neutral because it's connected to the motors, the electric motors, so then it like can ruin it or whatever. Like Tesla's, to tow it, you got to put it in a specific towing mode. You can't just pull on it while it's parked, otherwise it could destroy it. Add more storage? Yeah, I need to do that. So we'll go boot. And then, like, I might actually have one right here. I got a 1 terabyte drive. I can put it as a secondary drive. So then we can try installing on a secondary drive, even though I imagine it's the same thing as Windows. You just put the drive in, format it, and it should work, right? Right? Let me put this here so I don't forget. I will put this with the build. And we will try to format a drive, which is something that we do on Windows pretty regularly. They do eat a bit of the charge. Yeah. Yeah. Running your AC, running the heater while you're just sitting, while, you know, like warming up your car, it does eat some of the charge. But again, I think there are people who just EVs do not work for their lifestyle and the way that they drive and the distances that they drive. Fortunately for us, it does work out because I am loving it. And I do not want to go back to a ICE vehicle. Isn't it crazy how Apple cuts off MacBooks fast with software updates compared to iPhones? You think there was... I had no idea that was a thing. I thought MacBooks and stuff got really long-term support. I've never had one, but everybody I know that had one always tells me, but they're probably talking about it on a hardware level, why their MacBooks last like 10 years, whereas Windows, you know, the hinges fail or whatever the heck. But they're probably not talking on a software level on that. I tried EV if I had a garage and charger. I think that's the biggest thing. Again, in my mid-20s, or if me and Melissa were still living in a townhome, we would not have gotten an EV. It is not too inconvenient. Bazite came up as the #1 recommendation from Grok. Is Grok biased? You can always install Mint. Do I need to just start installing Linux on like any second, third PCs, laptops I have now? Have I been converted? No, I have not been converted yet. Windows is just still too convenient. But let's just, as I end this stream, I will say, even though we ran into hiccups, we ran into road bumps, but I am a little bit surprised that we were just able to install Steam, install a couple of games, at least one game. We didn't check Skyrim to see if it worked. But we installed the game, it worked, we got in. The resolution thing was on my part because I had scaled things up. It worked. And I think that's a good thing. We did have to do some terminal command update stuff, sudo. But I just doing that makes me a lot more comfortable to want to install Linux on any other systems I have now, right? You just got to get through the slightly hard part, speed bumps, the first time around. But just like building a computer, any one after that is a lot easier. And again, Google and ChatGPT and stuff is all a source. I didn't really want to use them for the stream because I wanted to keep it ongoing and I wanted to interact with you guys. And you guys came in clutch because everything we ran into, I didn't have to Google. You guys had the solutions for. So I do look forward to messing with this more on next week's stream. But for now, I do have to go. So, yeah, you guys have a great rest of your night or day. Have a great rest of your week and have a great weekend coming up. Super Bowl's this weekend. The Seahawks are in it. So hopefully we can get our revenge on the Patriots after, 11 years. But look forward to a video. Hopefully I don't release it around this time of the Super Bowl. Hopefully that doesn't affect viewership. But yeah, look forward to a video, as well as you can catch me in the Discord server from time to time, and then YouTube shorts and stuff coming out. You guys have a good night. Thank you for a fun, awesome stream. Let's continue it next time. Bye-bye.